at this time, and as is stated, as we honor America with the presentation of colors by the Indiana State ROTC, and our national anthem today performed by the Indiana State University Sycamore Singers, directed by Dr. Scott Buchanan. The Missouri Valley Conference and Indiana State University are committed to the ideals of this sports system in our time. We ask all persons to show respect to the opposing team, game officials, and each other. First officers participating in acts and conduct of good sportsmanship or fair play are subject to ejection, and such action should result in a technical foul being assessed against your team. Your cooperation is greatly appreciated. Ladies and gentlemen, on Tuesday, February the 14th against Illinois State, senior Carl Richard became the 34th player in the history of Sycamore basketball to score 1,000 points. Carl had 9 points in that game, but the Sycamore was behind him. Last week, Carl became the 6th Sycamore to have 1,000 points in tournament rebounds in the three. Carl on the rebound, and the off for the Central three-point. Sycamore playing the newest member of the 1,000 point club, and Indiana State senior Carl Richard.
This afternoon, we're in Terre Haute, Indiana, and the house that Larry Bird built. With Oscar Robertson, they are the most decorated players in the history of the Missouri Valley Conference. Creighton sophomore Doug McDermott is drawing comparisons to Larry Legend and trying to enter the MVC Elite. Creighton and Indiana State battle in the Valley next. Welcome to Saturday's Showcase, presented by 5 Hour Energy as part of Judgment Week on ESPN. Creighton, Indiana State, a Missouri Valley Conference showdown here in Terre Haute, Indiana. Along with the former standout at the University of Illinois, a member of the Flying Illini, Stephen Bardo. Roxy Bernstein with you. Creighton, Indiana State. This Creighton team, Stephen, off to a 21-2 start. They were ranked number 12 in the country, then hit a bump in the road. They lost 3 straight. They're 24-5 coming into this one. What's going on with the Blue Jays?
Well, the Blue Jays are trying to really get their momentum going at the right time of the season. You mentioned the 3-game slump. This is a team that they bend, but they don't break defensively, as we saw in their last 2 victories. On the other side, Indiana State trying to replicate what happened last year. It's almost identical records at this time of the season. They caught fire, got Arch Madness under their belt, and went on to NCAA.
Well, that leads us right to our one-on-one matchup for this afternoon, Still.
Yeah, we're talking about Doug McDermott, one of the dynamic scorers in the nation. Once he gets going in the paint area, it opens up the 3-point attack for the Blue Jays, as we saw against Long Beach State. And then on the other side, for Indiana State, Jake Odom has been suffering from plantar fasciitis, and a stress fracture has really aggravated him the last couple of games. So Jake Odom trying to get healthier here down the stretch.
Creighton Blue Jays, their starting 5. It's been the same 5 all year, one of 6 teams in the country to start the same group in each game this season. There is Doug McDermott, 3rd in the country in scoring. For Indiana State, Jake Odom is the guy that makes it go for the Sycamores, but an experienced group, guys like Carl Richard, Dwayne Lathan have outstanding careers here at Indiana State. Our officials this afternoon, Randy McCall, Terry Moore, and Jeff Campbell. And Creighton in the blue, Indiana State the home whites. Final game of the regular season here in the Missouri Valley Conference.
See it, Creighton trying to get themselves established in the paint. Once they do that, Roxy, very dangerous from 3-point line. You have to pick your poison against these guys.
Gregory Echenike on the block, and the rebound cleared. Dwayne Lathan, Indiana State.
One thing we're going to have to watch out for, senior days are very emotional. There's a lot of things you have to kind of keep under control. You can either come out really quickly, or you can be kind of flat from the emotional roller coaster. Let's see how the Sycamores respond.
You remember your senior day?
Oh, very much so. Tears, your whole 4 years goes right before your eye.
And a turnover by the Sycamores. And it goes right back to Creighton 53 seconds into this game. There's some of the seniors for Indiana State. Jordan Prenti, one of the best 3-point shooters in the history of Indiana State basketball.
A lot of history and a lot of blood, sweat, and tears.
Indiana State clears as Doug McDermott misses inside. Indiana State held him to a season-low 12 points in the big Creighton win in Omaha a month ago, and a turnover, the 2nd already by Indiana State on the carry.
Boy, you don't see that a lot, especially with someone as sure-handed as Jake Odom. A lot of times, very under control and initiates the offense and handles the ball a lot more per possession than most guards in Valley play.
Grant Gibbs inside, breaks the seal, and Creighton on the board first.
Creighton's so versatile offensively. Got a scorer like McDermott who draws so much attention. Grant Gibbs and Manigault are able to feed off of that.
Creighton leads the country in field goal percentage at better than 51% from the floor for the season.
Indiana State gets stagnant sometimes in a half-court set. It's almost like they catch and it sticks in one player's hands too long.
Step back shot. shot rolls around, will not go for Dwayne Lathan, but a foul on the rebound against Creighton, which will draw the ire of the Blue Jays head coach, Greg McDermott. He is the father of their star player, Doug McDermott. Second year for Greg at Creighton after coming down from Iowa State. Impressive record so far at Creighton as Gregory Echenike leaves, and in for the Blue Jays is the 6'11" redshirt freshman Will Artino.
You mentioned Greg McDermott. He does a dunk once a year for his club, and yesterday was the dunk of the year. And his son Doug said it was nothing but fingertips.
Will Artino misses everything inside. Stripped from McDermott by Jake Odom. Here come the Sycamores.
Sycamores don't get a lot of points in transition, but against this Creighton ball club, they're going to have to be very aggressive. Last meeting,
Jump hook by Miles Walker goes in.
Creighton was all over them in their first meeting, 75-49. So from a confidence standpoint, it's imperative that Indiana State get out early.
One of those seniors here at Indiana State, Miles Walker, with their first points. Doug McDermott misses inside. And the rebound lost out of bounds by last touch by Creighton. It goes to Indiana State.
Doug McDermott's getting excellent position on the post.
There's something on the floor as Doug McDermott points out. And Greg McDermott, actually the head coach of Creighton, does a wet spot on the floor on the offensive end for the Creighton Blue Jays.
He's going to protect his guys. If Doug said the floor is slick, believe it goes beyond coach. That's dad too now.
Maybe it's slick from yesterday when he tried to dunk, or he did dunk.
Or maybe slick from bringing that trampoline out that he had to use to dunk. That's about it.
You think he had to ice down after dunking yesterday?
No, he said he didn't ice down because if he would have stretched, he'd pull a groin or something.
Here's a turnover again by the Sycamores. Antoine Young on the attack for Creighton.
One thing that's very impressive when you watch Creighton, the floor spacing of the Blue Jays allows them three-point looks and drives.
The runner by Gibbs goes, and he has all four for the Blue Jays.
Grant Gibbs, a guy that transferred from Gonzaga, has been having some knee issues, but it looks like his knee, he's got a little bounce in his step this afternoon.
Carl Richard for three. Indiana State has the lead.
We talk about the Indiana State seniors. They're going to play all out this afternoon. Not that they don't every time, but there's a little bit more incentive your last time on your home floor.
And four seniors in the starting lineup for Greg Lansing, the head coach of Indiana State. There's a steal inside by one of those seniors. It's Richard. Here comes Indiana State. Pull-up three by Jordan Prenti. And the rebound, Will Artino, Creighton.
Almost like Prenti, his first shot needs to be a catch and shoot as opposed to off the bounce.
There's Antoine Young, who's been so clutch throughout his career at Creighton. He is the only scholarship senior for the Blue Jays.
Boy, and that's a scary thought for the rest of the Valley. As talented as this ball club is, and Austin Chapman, his apprentice, freshman out of Texas.
Miles Walker can't get that to go, and Creighton clears.
Good job by Carl Richard moving McDermott off the box position.
Grant Gibbs inside, and he has 6 already, and the Blue Jays lead 8-5.
I like that non-call right there. Lathan was trying to draw. That's incidental contact on the block. Nice job of the officiating right there, letting them play.
So Gibbs with 6, he averages only 7 a game. Dwayne Lathan long on a 3, but an offensive rebound, Indiana State. Carl Richard, and a kick out, and another giveaway by the Sycamores. 3-on-2 Creighton. Antoine Young with the lay-in.
Boy, what a start for the Blue Jays on the road. It's a tough venue to come in and sneak a victory. Indiana State very good at home. So Creighton and Greg McDermott pleased with the start here on the road.
6 straight points for the Blue Jays. Miles Walker fouled underneath, and he'll go to the free throw line, but the Blue Jays, it's the defense doing their offense, Steven.
Yeah, they're doing a great job of getting their hands on loose balls. right there, turning a turnover to a bucket in lightning fast speed.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5 Hour Energy, when you gotta get stuff done. And in part by the Volkswagen Tiguan. That's the power of German engineering.
Beautiful day right outside the Holtman Center in Terre Haute, Indiana, where the Creighton Blue Jays out to a 10-5 lead on Indiana State. This is the final game in the regular season for the Missouri Valley Conference. There are 32 different scenarios of how the seedings could go for Arch Madness next week in St. Louis.
Yeah, we'll figure that out at the end of this ball game here. So a lot to play for Indiana State. Could go anywhere from 3rd or 8th seed. So
I'll let you figure it out. With 32 scenarios?
No, we're going to let them decide on the floor, because it's that time of year when you can control your own destiny by simply locking down and gutting wins out.
Senior Miles Walker hits the first free throw, a 58% foul shooter on the year. Started every game in his career up until the recent game at Missouri State, their last time out. Came off the bench, but back in the starting lineup, and it was a team suspension. He didn't start. He played in the game, but did not start. Greg Lansing holding him out of the starting lineup.
You got to hold guys to a level of responsibility and expectation. It's what builds character among ball teams.
Shot clock at 12. Step back shot. Missed everything from Antoine Young. Last touch underneath by Ethan Rocky, who checked in for Creighton. And it goes to Indiana State.
You mentioned Ethan Rocky. A stretch 4 for Creighton, so they'll probably go 4 out, 1 in, meaning 4 guys on the perimeter and Greg Echenike on the block. Throw it into him, and if you double team him, he looks for a shooter. If you don't, he goes one-on-one.
Rocky's been struggling with his shot the last couple of games, just 2 of 11 from downtown. Jake Odom on the drive, and R.J. Mahurin can't handle the pass, and another Indiana State turnover.
That time, Jake Odom throwing a fastball, trying to get out underneath the bucket, finding his teammates, but that's what happens. I haven't been harping on it this year like I have in the past, Roxy. You don't leave your feet unless you're going to score. Any other time you try to jump up and pass, a high percentage of those plays result in turnovers.
And Jake Odom with the giveaway. 3-point lead for the Blue Jays. In the game is Austin Chapman, a freshman from the Colony, Texas, who did a really good job defensively last Saturday night when we saw Creighton against Long Beach State.
Yeah, there's not many negatives you can talk about with Long Beach State, but one of them is when Casper Ware has a defender that challenges him, he loses sight of team play and goes one-on-one. That's exactly what Austin Chapman did to him, took him out of his game, resulted in Creighton closing on a strong run to win that.
And another unforced turnover by Indiana State. And it has to be driving head coach Greg Lansing crazy with these turnovers here early. Greg, in his second year now as the head coach at Indiana State, was the associate head coach here previous.
And Roxy, when this happens, remember we said we don't know how Indiana State is going to respond to senior day. They get jacked up, they go a little bit too quick. You've got to settle down here. Fortunate to only be down 3.
6 turnovers already by the Sycamores.
Indiana State's defense has been solid, especially in the half-court set.
And a foul inside the drive by Grant Gibbs. And it's going against Indiana State. Their first team foul, and R.J. Mahurin, the sophomore from Rockville, Indiana, who has started the last 3 games off the bench today with the foul.
R.J. trying to get in position on the drive. You like the effort, just a step slow. And Grant Gibbs has got a little pep in his step, being very aggressive early.
69% foul shooter, hits the first. Gibbs with 7. He averages 7 points a game. And he has 7 points in the first 7 minutes and 15 seconds of this one.
And he's usually a distributor. He's usually a guy that's really looking to set up his teammates, but when you have a third option behind Young and behind McDermott that can step up and score like that, man, what a luxury for Greg McDermott.
Well, Richard missing the spin move and cleared by Creighton.
Excellent defensive job by Doug McDermott, making him finish over the top without fouling.
And there is a foul as Doug McDermott draws the foul on Indiana State and will go to the free throw line and looking for his first points of the game. Tonight, a full day of college hoops on ESPN ends as Chris Joseph and the Big East leading Syracuse Orange visit rival Connecticut in Saturday Primetime presented by DirecTV. Saturday Primetime presented by DirecTV on ESPN at 9 Eastern. Coverage begins with College Game Day covered by State Farm at 8.
I'm going to get on UConn a little bit here because that's an extremely talented ball club. To me, arguably almost more talented this year than they were last year when they won the NCAA tournament championship. But they don't want to play. They act like they're just out there playing and it doesn't mean anything. They've had a lot of controversy with Ryan Boatwright's suspensions, Jim Calhoun's health or lack thereof, but this is still a privilege. It's not a right. And they act like, you know, somebody should give them something. UConn's got to show up tonight.
Well, Richard misses inside, cleared by Creighton. Lob ahead, picked off, hustling back on defense, Dwayne Lathan. Sycamores on the attack.
Wow, look at the defensive rotation and recovery by Creighton. Excellent job.
Here's a 3 from the corner, rattled in by R.J. Mahurin.
Well, nice unselfish play by Richard that time. He had an opportunity to take that shot.
Strong move inside. Doug McDermott, his first field goal.
Ooh, Doug McDermott. He said, I got a mouse in the house. Straight to the rim. How difficult is it to stop a 6'7" guy is that strong going to the rim?
And a foul against Doug McDermott, which will send R.J. Mahurin to the line. And a slow start, but Doug McDermott getting into the act.
This is big boy basketball right here. You might be in front of me, but get out of the way. I'm going to the rack. Doug McDermott leading the attack on the road against Indiana State.
Shake out up!
The band leader. Tight one there in ACC country. Going to the line, R.J. Mahurin for Indiana State. 5-point Creighton lead. And Mahurin, a 73% foul shooter, hits the first. Foul was against Doug McDermott, his first. Third against Creighton.
Well, the band leader getting the home crowd into a frenzy. Hit a half-court shot and then held his baby girl there for a while. And his band congratulating him. Let's see if Indiana State can pick up on some of that half-court love.
Ride the wave of that momentum from the timeout.
Once again, look at the floor spacing. 4 out, 1 in, all outside of the three-point line, allowing Greg Echenike to do his damage on the paint.
11 on the shot clock for the Blue Jays, who lead it by 3 almost midway through this first half.
Well, right now, between Grant Gibbs and Antoine Young, 5 of 8 from the field. So taking a lot of pressure off McDermott offensively already.
Here is Antoine Young, misses badly, and over the back, a foul going for the rebound. That's number 2 on Doug McDermott. 2 fouls for the sophomore standout with 10:19 remaining in this first half.
So that's what bad shots compound and end up in bad sequences for your team. You take a bad shot, guys are out of position, McDermott goes for the ball, a foul. That's why coaches are follically challenged. I had Mahurin there for a second. Okay, he was going to try to post up.
Now Richard gets it back, missed the floater. Ethan Rogge the rebound for Creighton.
Remember me saying, I think there should be a turnover once you jump up and leave the floor and you don't shoot. Just nothing good comes of it. I mean, I've been talking about that for 2 years now, and guys continue to leave the floor when they're trying to pass.
And Mahurin does a nice job and gets a breather here for the Sycamores. Down 3. Creighton has led by as many as 6 here in the early going. Indiana State is 17-12. 8-9 in the Valley, and can finish anywhere from 3rd to 8th in the seeding for Arch Madness next week. And a travel called against Carl Richard, and another Indiana State turnover.
Well, Greg Lanton is not happy. He's calling for the hack on the arm. He may have a point there. It looked like there was some contact. When Carl Richard gets the ball on the box, Roxy, once he recognizes there's no double team, he's got to go quickly.
Gregory Echenike missing inside, and Miles Walker clears for Indiana State.
Like Echenike kind of lost his footing there right before he tried to jump. Just didn't have any lift on the finish.
Out of bounds, last touch by Creighton. And 17 on the shot clock for the Sycamores.
Wow, the Creighton bench, you got to get up when the big fella goes to the floor like that. Greg Echenike showing some hustle. That's the type of thing that's supposed to get your team riled up. They look like they're half asleep over there. I don't know, man. Maybe I'm too old school, Roxy. Whenever I suited up, man, I don't care who we were playing. I'm hyped. I'm hyped sitting over here calling the game.
Frustration foul after Jake Odom with the giveaway. His first personal foul, and he has struggled to get on track so far in this game.
He really has, and I think there's a pressing a little bit. You know, you want so badly for your upperclassmen to go out on a winning note in their last home game that sometimes the underclassmen push too hard and play a little bit out of their comfort level.
Loose ball, and Jake Odom went crashing into the scores table, but Antoine Young comes away with it. Ethan Rocky with a three.
Great sign for Creighton right there. We talked about Ethan Rocky early, Roxy. He noted that in the open. And he's been struggling a little bit with his confidence, but boy, he's a pure shooter. The neon green light, he can let it fly anytime he wants. You know about that, Roxy.
It's been a long time since I've known about that. Here's Jordan Prenti backing down into the key. And he missed the shot, and the rebound cleared by Creighton. Blue Jays up by 6. It equals their largest lead.
If Indiana State could settle down, they are still in really good shape.
Offensive rebound, Echenike. But Rocky misses everything inside. Miles Walker clears for the Sycamores. Knocked out of bounds by the Blue Jays. It'll be at Indiana State basketball. Creighton starting to heat up a little bit. Ethan Rocky getting into the act. Blue Jays by 6.
Sycamore Nation, roll trees! Shakir Bell! Roll trees! Indiana State! Roll trees! And we do this! Right there! Oh no! I just got off in the thing on the goal.
All right, Steve, 7:39 remaining first half here in Terre Haute, Indiana. Creighton leading Indiana State 18-12 and a rough start, Stephen, for Jake Odom, the catalyst for this Indiana State offense.
Yeah, it looks as though he's really pressing. Got 4 turnovers already. So I think he's trying a little bit too hard to make things happen. Just settle down, trust the system, and get to the open guy. Dwayne Latham, 0 for 2, as well as Jordan Prenti.
And Indiana State as a team just 3 of 13 from the field. Shot won't go for Dwayne Latham, but he is fouled and will go to the line. Foul against Grant Gibbs, his first.
It's a good job of manufacturing an opportunity that time by Dwayne Latham. best way for scores to get going is on the free throw line. You get relaxed. You see one or two go through the hole, now your confidence is up.
Lathan buries the first, an 81% foul shooter, an outstanding free throw shooter. 60th career start today. 5th team foul against the Blue Jays.
Let's see if that can spark the Sycamores here. They're only down 4, holding Creighton under 40% shooting, so their defense has been excellent. If they take away some of these turnovers, man, they have a lead right now.
Ethan Raggi rims out a 3, but Gregory Echenike the offensive rebound.
Oh, Johans, you got to give it back to him. The big fella's work and let him eat.
Antoine Young gets the baseline jumper.
What Grant gives fingertips are all over the scoring right now for Creighton, whether scoring or setting up his teammates. Really keyed in and locked in early.
Early foul difficulty for Doug McDermott. Already 2 personals for the Creighton forward as Miles Walker draws the foul. Hacked in the act by Gregory Echenike.
Wow. Watch how patient Miles is on this attempt. Backs up, regathers himself, goes with the offhand off glass, and he puts Echenike back up under the rim. That's not an easy thing to do. Echenike, a big man. Walker showing you his own strength.
Miles Walker was an outstanding high school football player. Down in Texas, he's from San Antonio. And he gets the old school 3-point play, and he cuts the lead in half. And now McDermott and Echenike have 2 personal fouls.
So, like we talked about, Indiana State gonna grind it out. They can take care of the basketball. They can find themselves in really good position here. Creighton just trying to go to the continuous pick and roll situation.
Josh Jones from the corner. Kept alive on the offensive end by Will Artino.
Great hustle by Will. Was boxed out but didn't give up on the play.
Miles Walker with the block shot. Saved by Indiana State and Jordan Princey. Spin move. Carl Richard with the bucket.
Put him in the spin cycle on the post. Carl Richard finally getting one to go in the post area. He's had a lot of opportunities. Roxy, they are not double teaming him. Just like Walker last time, they can take their time to get to the rim.
Runner won't go.
Great defense.
Indiana State looking for the lead.
Great defense without fouling.
Carl Richard misses the 3. Will Artino rebounds for the Blue Jays.
Place is waiting to explode.
And a blocking call against Steve McOrder of Indiana State on the drive by Antoine Young.
Antoine Young doesn't look strong. That was a strong move to the rim.
Second foul against Steve McOrder. Just the 4th against Indiana State. And with the 2 fouls, Doug McDermott coming back in.
Well, we've seen this before. We've seen Doug with 2 fouls in the first half, and Rick rolls the dice a little bit, and he's going to get him in a couple minutes and then sit him back down. So recognizing that Creighton needs a bucket as Indiana State is cut to this lead. Nice job by Carl Richard on McDermott. Moving him out of that post position.
Pull up by Josh Jones. Tipped up and in by McDermott. Now, if you're Greg Lansing, Steven, do you go at McDermott, try to get that 3rd foul?
I do, and Carl Richard has had some success in the post area, so you run a set call for him. But instead, Lathan trying to do something in the post area.
Deflected out, Indiana State ball.
And you got a guy in McDermott who's in the game with 2 fouls. Now he switches over to Kitchell. But if he's guarding Richard again, I try to take advantage of that.
Jake Odom with the ball. He's back in for the Sycamores. Shot clock at 6. 3 by Lathan. And it trickles out of bounds to the Blue Jays.
Greg Lansing just beside himself over there. This team's lack of execution in the half-court set. They're just not getting good looks, and they're waiting really deep into the shot clock.
Shot block. McDermott gets it back, and Doug McDermott lays it in.
Doug McDermott has some of the best footwork in college basketball. He sets himself up 2 or 3 passes before the ball gets to him.
Here come the Blue Jays. Doug McDermott can't get that one. Cleared by Jake Kitchell, Indiana State.
McDermott doesn't look athletic or fast, Roxy, but I'd like to see him in a ballroom. Boy, I bet he could cut a rug with that footwork.
Let's go to the studio for a quick look-in with Steve Munin. Creighton leading Indiana State 24-19. 3:22 remaining in this first half.
Well, and Creighton and Doug McDermott got through the last couple minutes without him picking up another foul. So Greg McDermott rolls the dice. It comes up great for Creighton.
Foul before the shot by Jordan Prenti. And fighting through the screen, it's against Grant Gibbs, his second person. So Gibbs has 2, Doug McDermott with 2, and Gregory Echenike with 2 personal fouls. The 7th team foul against Creighton, and a 1-and-1 for R.J. Mahurin. All right, guys, the front end of a 1-and-1 is missed by R.J. Mahurin. And Creighton with the ball, leading it by 5, final 3:10 of the first half.
Oh, I missed it. Will Artino there was rolling, was open there for a second.
Antoine Young to the basket, and a blocking call against R.J. Mahurin, his second personal foul. Crowd doesn't like it. That will be a couple of free throws here for the Blue Jays, leading it by 5.
Well, the Blue Jays just have tremendous balance. We've mentioned it earlier in this broadcast. The three-point shot is a weapon. Doug McDermott's a weapon anywhere. Echenike on the block, and then this young man, Antoine Young, with the ability to get in the paint, similar to what we saw in the game winner against Long Beach State.
Miles Walker comes back for the Sycamores, and Indiana State doing a very good job defensively against the top field goal shooting team in the country in Creighton. As the Blue Jays just 36% from the field. The knock on Creighton supposedly has been their defense, but their defense has been outstanding so far today.
It really has. They're locked in, and their coaches, they said it's an unusual group. They know offensively they'll be good most nights, but sometimes they just don't lock in on the defensive end.
Miles Walker has 9 to lead Indiana State. He averages 7.5 a game.
You know, Miles Walker wanting to leave his impression on this floor last time out.
That won't go for Avery Dingman. And Indiana State clears.
Avery Dingman playing with a lot of confidence. The freshman has come in and had some big shooting games. And yet another guy off McDermott's bench.
No good from Miles Walker, and Creighton clears. Final 2 minutes of this first half in Terre Haute.
Odom very fortunate right there. He didn't pick up a foul.
Will Artino, the perimeter jumper. And the rebound, Carl Richard, Indiana State.
I know the coach didn't like that opportunity, but Will Artino's like, man, I'm banging, I'm rebounding, I'm getting hit. Can I get some of the fun? Can I shoot one?
Here's a 3. No good from Carl Richard. Jordan Princey tracks it down. And the rebound, Ethan Rogge. Creighton. Blue Jays on the move. Rolls in for Antoine Young.
That's fundamental basketball right there. Guards are taught when you're running a fast break, stop at the free throw line. Antoine Young does a great job of that, and leading Creighton to a 7-point lead here at the back end of the first half.
Creighton by 7, 1:14 remaining first half. Coming up on the PlayStation Vita halftime report. Top 5 fantastic finishes. The Tar Heels take to the road. A monster matchup in the Big 12 between KU and Mizzou. Possibly the final border battle, at least for a while, with Missouri joining the SEC. Steve Bunin and Jay Williams will have all the details at halftime. Hard to believe.
It sickens me right now to think that one of the best rivalries in college basketball is being dismantled because of college football and money, because that's basically what it all boils down to.
On the drive, Carl Richard, the floater is good.
Excellent job with Richard getting to his sweet spot, Roxy. They've been taking some rush shots and some rushed opportunities. That time, go-to move, jump hook.
Avery Dingman rattles out a 3. Jake Odom the rebound. Indiana State in transition, pull-up 3. Jordan Princey. Timeout, Creighton. A 7-point lead is down to 2. 29.6 left in the half, and the 3 in transition. Second in Indiana State history of threes. Jordan Princey makes it a 2-point game. 5 straight by the Sycamores. Creighton with a 2-point lead. Final 29.6 of the first half. Sunday, Cody Zeller and the high-scoring Indiana Hoosiers need a win against Minnesota to gain ground in the Big Ten. Judgment Week on ESPN, ESPN3, and also streaming live on WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app Sunday at 1 Eastern. So a 2-point game. Jake Odom is scoreless for Indiana State, Steve. You surprised?
I am surprised because he's 3 games ago against Illinois State, he dropped 34, but defensively, Indiana State's last game, their victory at Missouri State was the best they played all year. So this team is used to playing without Jake as he battles through some injuries.
Final 12 seconds of the half. Creighton playing for the last shot. Antoine Young, shot blocked by Miles Walker. That'll do it for the first half. Greg McDermott looking for a foul. And Randy McCall says the hands went straight up from Walker. 28-26, Creighton leading Indiana State at the half. Let's send it to Steve Bunin and Jay Williams for the PlayStation Vita halftime report. You're watching Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy as part of Judgment Week on ESPN with the Creighton Blue Jays taking on the Indiana State Sycamores. Due to time constraints, we move ahead in our action. You're watching Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy as part of Judgment Week on ESPN with the Creighton Blue Jays taking on the Indiana State Sycamores. Due to time constraints, we'll move ahead in our action after these messages. It's halftime here in Terre Haute, Indiana, as the Creighton Blue Jays take on the Indiana State Sycamores. All college basketball games on ESPN, ESPN2, ESPNU, and ESPN3 are streaming live on Watch ESPN all season long. Download the Watch ESPN app today for the App Store or Android Market, or visit watchespn.com. Due to time constraints, we will move ahead in our action.
This game is streaming live on your computer, tablet, or smartphone via WatchESPN.com and the Watch ESPN app.
Welcome back to Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy as part of Judgment Week. At the half, Creighton leads Indiana State 28-26. Tightly contested first half between these two Missouri Valley Conference rivals. Along with Stephen Bardo, Roxy Bernstein with you. The first half, Indiana State had trouble getting into rhythm. Turnovers were a big reason why.
They really were, and they were fortunate that they weren't run out of here in the first half. All the turnovers that took place, Creighton was taking advantage early. Let's take a look at a couple of them here. Odom seemed to be going a little bit too quickly, turning the ball over, and then yet again another turnover that results in an easy bucket for Antoine Young on the other end. And then he got in foul trouble, Roxy, but a common characteristic of big-time scorers that they continue to move. They have a high motor. He doesn't quit, sets himself up beautifully for the offensive rebound opportunity. Doug McDermott showing you why he's the third leading scorer in the nation.
Indiana State in the whites. Creighton in the blue as we start the second half. The Blue Jays by 2, and Dwayne Lathan attacks the basket, misses inside, and Gregory Echenike the rebound. Here come the Blue Jays.
Dwayne Lathan didn't understand that decision. Go to the rim, go strong, try not to worry about a possible shot block.
And a steal by Jake Odom, and he rifles the ball out off Creighton, and the Sycamores come away with the first opportunity on a turnover. First half, Antoine Young leading. Blue Jays with 10. Doug McDermott had 8. He had a season-low 12 the first time around against Indiana State. And the Blue Jays, who lead the country in field goal shooting at over 51% as a team, shot a season low for a first half, 33% here in the first half of this one. And now we are tied.
You knew that Indiana State wanted to make it a grind for Creighton. Make them work extremely hard for all their shots and keep them out of transition. If they cut down on the turnovers, they'll be in great shape.
Antoine Young on the drive is fouled. And it's Jake Odom who got him the second against the sophomore standout of Indiana State. And Odom at the other end, who tied the game. His first points of the day here at the start of the second half.
Well, you can tell he's going to be a lot more aggressive getting to the rim, especially when Antoine Young is guarding him. Odom against Young would have at least a 3-inch height advantage.
Young now 2 of 3 at the line. 10 points to lead the Blue Jays, now give him 11 as Creighton reclaims the lead.
Our viewers don't be surprised to see this go back and forth throughout the second half. Indiana State playing for seeding in the Valley Conference Tournament.
Carl Richard in the key with the hoop, and Indiana State leads for the first time since early in this game.
That's his move right there, the jump hook going over his left shoulder in the paint area. Instead of taking threes and tough finishes in the paint, stay with your go-to move.
Inside, Gregory Echenike can't finish. Now he does to give Creighton the lead.
Well, you go and double-team McDermott on one side. You leave 6'9", 270 Greg Echenike on the backside. It's going to be tough to keep him off the glass.
Echenike's first points of the game, and he had the big tip-in at the end of regulation against Evansville Tuesday night in Omaha to send the game to overtime. Miles Walker missing in the rebound. Echenike.
Walker trying to turn and bang bodies with Echenike to create space. That's going to be difficult with that big fella.
Echenike keeps it alive. Jahens Manigat missing a 3 in the rebound. Jake Odom.
Jake Odom needs to look to score right here early. Don't wait for the defense to set up.
Jordan Prinsey losing the ball out of bounds and a giveaway by Indiana State. Stephen, what a wild game it was Tuesday night for Creighton against Evansville in Omaha. A game that went to overtime, 93-92. The Blue Jays win it. And they overcome Colt Ryan going for 43 points for the Purple Aces.
And they're very fortunate to win that game. Did not lead in the second half at all to that last bucket.
Doug McDermott scoops it up and puts it in to give Creighton a 3-point lead.
He's got Venus flytrap hands. Doug McDermott catches everything in his general vicinity.
I think that game, which Creighton won Tuesday night, that's been the story in the last two games. The game you and I had last Saturday night, they did not lead in the second half till 3/10 of a second remained in the game.
Yeah, you know, we've seen that. They've closed. Their defense bends, but it doesn't break.
And a whistle. Loose ball underneath, picked up by Carl Richard, and a foul is called. No foul, actually a timeout by Indiana State to keep the possession alive. Creighton leading here in Terre Haute by 3. Fans enjoying the atmosphere here at the Holman Center. Indiana State and Creighton, a Missouri Valley Conference showdown. 33-30, the Blue Jays lead here early in the second half. And here's the standings, Stephen, in the MVC. And this is the final day of the regular season for this conference with the Arch Madness next weekend. Creighton's locked into the number 2 seed with Wichita winning the regular season crown in the Valley. But look at 3 through 8. It is wide open and so many scenarios that can play out.
Tremendous parity, as is usually the case in the Missouri Valley, and potentially with 6 teams at 9-9. And I wouldn't want to be the guy that decided tiebreaker in those.
And a block is called against Antoine Young of Creighton, his first foul, and the first on the Blue Jays in the second half.
Well, Carl Richard was able to get going a little bit on the box. With Indiana State struggling to score, I would try to look for Carl Richard going one-on-one against McDermott to see if he can pick up that third foul.
Here is Richard. Dwayne Lathan gets inside and gets the spin off the heel of the rim.
Dwayne Lathan is a guy that can put up points. He's scored 27 against Evansville and 24 against Drake. So he's a guy that can potentially explode.
1-point game. And the rebound out to Lathan. Indiana State looking for the lead. Tough step back. And the rebound picked up Josh Jones.
Well, those shots like that just take the wind out of your sails.
And a foul underneath as Doug McDermott picks it up against Miles Walker, as the Blue Jays still clinging to a 1-point lead. Up next, we look at some resumes for teams that want to go dancing.
We're going to drop that second contingency ticket just in case. Here's that backup number just in case. 480-6075. That's your one just in case. You got that ticket out there? When you got later on, when you got there's a half-court soccer team to win $10,000. Let's get a big round of applause on our friends and Pepsi for making this possible tonight.
Three more minutes, time to get those short phone dances with the Century 21 Get Up and Move. Check out Sycamore Vision.
Saturday Showcase presented by 5 Hour Energy. Creighton up 1 on Indiana State, 15:26 remaining. And this Creighton Blue Jay team, Stephen, they're the only team in the country that has 4 top 50 wins and also 9 true road wins.
Yeah, so their resume is strong. Even though you see the strength of schedule at 123, they should be a lock for the tourney.
24-5, some quality wins at San Diego State. They're 3-0 against the Big Ten. And that win in Bracket Busters last Saturday night was a huge win for the Blue Jays against a very good Long Beach State team.
Yep.
Let's take a look at the blind resumes. We're not going to fill you in just yet who these teams are. Just try to figure out who it is, and we'll put the teams in where the question marks are in a little bit. At the line, free throw knocked in by Doug McDermott.
I like the one on the far right, though, to me, in terms of balance. Highest non-conference strength of schedule, 3 RPI, top 50 wins, and 40 RPI. So good grouping, though, of those teams. But despite struggling from the field, Creighton just finds a way to manufacture points and opportunities. They're so versatile. They can hit you so many different ways, and when all else breaks down, Antoine Young can take you off the bounce and get to the free throw line.
Lucas Idle missing a 3, and the rebound, Josh Jones.
Steve McWhorter did an excellent job. A simple move, a little fake to the inside, drew the defense for the kick, and Idle's got to knock that down.
Here's McDermott. Antoine Young, the floater in the key.
Boy, it's so difficult to keep a lefty. Defensively, Roxy, you're accustomed to guarding right-hand players, so you know the feel of sending a guy to the left. But when you're playing against a left-hander, that split second of hesitation gives Antoine Young the ability to get past you, and then he shoots those floaters. Very difficult point guard to stop.
Miles Walker looking to go to work here. Can't get it. And Gregory Echenike the rebound. Shot blocked. And Miles Walker comes away with it for the Sycamores. Odom on the drive, fouled. He'll go to the line, foul against Josh Jones.
Odom just probing the defense, going from one side to the other, and then trying to find that crease. Anything to get him going offensively. And he is really, Odom, just laboring with those foot and shin issues, with the stress fracture in his shin and plantar fasciitis on his feet. Tell you what, Roxy, have you ever had that?
No, luckily I have not.
Yeah, that's painful. So painful that when you wake up in the morning, you have to move off to the edge of the bed and tap your feet before you stand up. Because if you stand up too quickly, it's so painful, you'll fall flat on your face. I had it in college, so I know how much pain this young man's playing through.
And he hits both free throws. And he pulls the Sycamores within 3. And there was a time earlier this year he was wearing a boot.
Yes.
He's not now walking around in one, but it was that painful for Odom to deal with.
Well, the remedies now are so much better than when they were. Right now, when you have plantar fasciitis, you have to stretch your foot out. That was not the case when I was in college. And thank goodness for medical advances.
There's Jake Odom with the rebound after the miss from McDermott. Odom drives the lane, hacked in the act and one. Jake Odom with a burst into the key, draws the foul against Gregory Echenike.
Beautiful change of pace by Jake Odom. He's been a little frustrated offensively, but he's able to get the rebound and initiate the break. Slow, slow. Now I see a crease. I'm going to explode. Get to the rim off glass. Nice job by the sophomore.
Odom at the line to try and tie the game. Echenike on the bench now with his third. Rebound Doug McDermott, as Odom now 2 of 3 at the line.
Well, you know that's a good box out when you don't have to leave the floor. And the ball comes right to you. Doug McDermott getting the gift basket. I really like the commitment from Creighton to get the ball in the post.
McDermott fouled and one.
Some teams say they like to go in the post area. Creighton commits to it. Each perimeter player looking to feed the post. Look at that position right there by McDermott. Takes the bump. Creighton sticking to their fundamentals.
Third foul on Steve McWhorter of Indiana State. And the Blue Jays, McDermott at the line, 4 of 4 in this one.
Every time Indiana State gets a little spark, fans get into it, Creighton finds a way to answer it. Sure, Creighton would like a more free-flowing game, but in conference play, you got to be able to win these as well.
Loose ball run down by Carl Richard. And a foul against Josh Jones. Tonight, a full day of college hoops on ESPN ends as Chris Joseph and the Big East leading Syracuse Orange visit rival UConn in Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV. Saturday primetime presented by DirecTV on ESPN at 9 Eastern. Coverage begins with College Game Day covered by State Farm at 8 o'clock.
Well, Syracuse doesn't have many weaknesses, but look at the numbers there. Just so impressive by Jim Boeheim. But Syracuse struggles on the defensive glass. They give up a lot of offensive rebounding. And UConn is huge up front. With Drummond, Oriaki, Olander, Smith, they can hit the glass. That's a key area if UConn comes to play, Roxy.
How pivotal is this game for UConn, and are they in danger of missing the field?
I think they're, if I'm Lenardi, based on what I've seen from UConn, they're out right now, in my eyes. So this is very critical, and they will have other opportunities in the Big East Conference tournament, but they need to take care of business at home today.
Doug McDermott going to work, pushes a lead to 5, largest of the second half. They led by as many as 7 in the first half. Wayne Lathan can't get that one. Ethan Raggi with the rebound.
Buckets had a lid on it for Dwayne here this afternoon.
Here's a steal by the Sycamores. Takes us to a timeout. To break we go. On the other side, an update from our studios on North Carolina and Virginia, with the Creighton Blue Jays leading it by 5 at Terre Haute.
Jay Williams in studio. North Carolina at Virginia. Great offense, great defense. Virginia controlling the pace, but P.J. Harrison 3 up the heels. Well, good assist by Kendall Marshall. They need to get going about this point. Carolina in some trouble. And how about Missouri blowing away Kansas at Fog Allen? Down 13. 15 minutes left to go in the game. Guys?
Yeah, Steve, how about those Mizzou Tigers at the Fog?
They're one of my favorite teams to watch play, but I'm surprised at what they're doing to Kansas and Fog Island. But you understand why they're so talented with these numbers, how they rank in Big 12, and the 72% by Ricardo Ratliff. He didn't have a good game against Kansas State, but he was bound and determined this afternoon to come back and rectify that effort.
11:43 left here in this one, and Doug McDermott has scored 9 of Creighton's last 11 points, and the Blue Jays are up 5 here on Indiana State. This is a critical game for the Sycamores. Creighton is already locked in as the 2 seed for Arch Madness and the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. Indiana State, you want to talk about how much of a logjam there is in the MVC? And a foul away from the ball and a hold against Creighton and Austin Chapman, his first foul. But if the Sycamores win this game,
right,
they will be the 3rd seed in St. Louis. If they lose here to Creighton, Greg Lansing's team will fall all the way to number 8.
And so that's why you come into these situations, just handle your own business, win your game, and let the chips fall where they may. Oh, good defense by Dingman.
Three-pointer by Jordan Prenti.
Boy, Prenti's got such a beautiful release on his jumper. They need him to come up big and loosen up this defense a little bit.
Block shot, but a foul. And Doug McDermott will go back to the foul line.
Doug McDermott has scored 9 of Creighton's last 11 points. So every great scorer gets the commitment from his teammates to get him the basketball where he can be effective. Creighton definitely doing that here in the second half.
Jake Odom with his 3rd personal foul. McDermott 5 of 5 at the line. Make it 6 of 6. Well, here's a who's who list in the Missouri Valley Conference. All-time sophomore scores. That's a nice group to be a part of for Doug McDermott, wouldn't you say?
I'm telling you what, those two up top, but Mitchell Anderson below was a baller at Bradley. I remember him very fondly. And 6'6", 6'7" guard, could post up out of Chi-Town. So Greg McDermott and some royalty in that group. And
right behind Anderson is Hersey Hawkins.
So, yeah, Doug McDermott really leaving his fingerprints all over this Missouri Valley Conference record book, only in his sophomore season.
Odom on the drive is fouled by Chapman. And the 2nd personal on Austin Chapman. Team foul number 6 on Creighton. On the next foul, Indiana State will go into the bonus for the rest of the game.
Well, that's the benefit of the Sycamores coming out of the halftime huddle, committing to driving the ball to the rim, mainly by this young man here.
There's Odom with an easy lay-in, knifing his way into the key.
And he's grimacing a little bit. Looks like he might have aggravated one of those injuries there on the last shot.
Here's McDermott. Wow, what a move.
Well, I feel bad for Walker, but that's abuse right there. Start to the right, spin, go off the offhand, off glass. McDermott, eyes getting big as golf balls when he saw he was one-on-one against Walker on the perimeter.
His 21st 20-point game of the season. Here's Walker at the other end with the answer.
Boy, Walker, Miles Walker, you mentioned his football experience. He uses it well in that box area.
Foul away from the ball against Indiana State, and it is Walker, his 2nd.
Well, watch McDermott. This is why it's so difficult to defend. You got to guard the 3. He can put it on the deck, crossover, spin, offhand. That's tough to ask Miles Walker to try to keep him one-on-one.
Doug McDermott with a big second half. Same thing for Odom. Odom was scoreless with 4 turnovers in the first half, all 8 here in the second for the sophomore guard of Indiana State.
It's like Creighton's trying to take advantage of a switch. Jake Odom trying to check McDermott right now.
And again, Odom playing with 3 fouls. Fouled on a putback. If that's Odom, that's his 4th. Fourth personal foul on Jake Odom with 9:21 remaining.
Yeah, that's definitely going to alter the way that Indiana State tries to get back in this game. There's a little bit of contact on that one.
No good. McDermott's first miss. He's now 7 of 8. And Jake Odom is going to be sitting for a little bit.
Yeah, he's saying how nice the weather is inside the arena right now.
Now McDermott gets a breather as Gregory Echenike comes back. And respective stars on each side are now on the bench.
Now remember, in their last game in a victory at Missouri State, Indiana State played without Odom for the last 12 minutes of the game. So this is not uncharted territory for them.
Putback missed by Mahurin. Here comes Creighton. 3-on-3. Antoine Young to the glass.
Tell you what, Antoine Young showing you veteran play. He got the ball back into the middle of the floor. He sized the defender up. goes hard left off glass. Antoine Young getting it done for Creighton.
So a timeout taken by Indiana State, but Antoine Young, your guy.
Antoine Young, hard going left hand.
(49-44), Creighton leading Indiana State. 8:50 left. Judgment Week presented by 5 Hour Energy, Saturday showcase. 49-44 Creighton. Jake Odom on the Indiana State bench with 4 fouls. Well, Doug McDermott getting a breather now for Creighton and his dad, Greg McDermott.
So where do you go for offense? I try to look for Jordan Prenti on the perimeter. Dwayne Lathan has been extremely quiet, so maybe Walker on the block or Prenti on the offside at the three-point line.
There is Walker. Tough fadeaway by the senior.
And Miles Walker's feeling good about himself offensively. Good to continue to feed him.
Deflected out by Dwayne Lathan. It'll stay with Creighton. And a 3-point lead. The Blue Jays led by as many as 7 in the first half.
Well, just as Indiana State has had to alter their offensive attack with Odom on the bench, McDermott goes to the bench now. So is it Antoine Young or is it that man right there?
And a tough rebound by Miles Walker as Raggi rims out a 3.
I'd instruct Jordan Prenti to let some of those fly. He had a little crease. I know it's early in the shot clock, but they are really struggling offensively.
Walker. Loose ball. Picked up by Creighton and Ethan Raggi.
Well, the fans are getting frustrated right now with Walker, his inability to finish, but there's contact on those shots. Everybody's eyes focus up top on the ball, but there are bodies banging on those releases.
And Walker clears that rebound. Approaching 7 minutes remaining. Creighton by 3.
Tell the ball sticks in Lathan's hands, so the defense is ready for him.
Walker from the perimeter. Got it! Playing in front of his mom for the first time in his career. On senior day, Miles Walker leads Indiana State with 15.
Oh my goodness, Antoine Young loves it when the home crowd gets on their feet, because then he shows out. Going to the offhand off glass. Well, this has been a great conference battle. Both teams answering one another's runs.
For the tie. Got it!
Carl Richard shooting 37% from 3. Boy, coming up strong.
Ethan Raggi, 3 from the corner.
Great execution by the Blue Jays. Every time, Roxy, this place wants to erupt, and every time Creighton has had an answer.
And a reach-in foul, third personal on Josh Jones. And free throws for Indiana State coming up. We've got a tight one in the Missouri Valley. A lot at stake for the Sycamores, down 3.
ESPN's exclusive presentation of college basketball is presented by 5 Hour Energy. When you gotta get stuff done.
Steve, we've got a good one here in the Missouri Valley. 54-51, Creighton leading Indiana State. 5:16 remaining. And earlier we played the blind resume game, figure out who those teams are, and you like that team on the right.
I do, just from the overall viewpoint. Look at that.
Creighton on the left, Murray State in the middle, and the St. Mary's Gales on the right, who have a tough battle tonight in San Francisco against the USF Dons.
Yeah, so St. Mary's, it would appear is that they've done enough work to get in, as has Creighton and Murray State. So I think those three are solidly in, despite the strength of schedule and the triple digits on those. You know, when you look at top 50 wins, and you mentioned Creighton being one of the road warriors in the country, you know, that's got to hold a lot of weight.
Jordan Prenti rolls in the front end of the 1-and-1. He'll get the bonus. 7 points today, a 74% foul shooter. And another resume and a team that we've been talking about, a team that Creighton beat last Saturday night in the Bracket Busters game in Omaha, Long Beach State.
Yeah, Long Beach State, their numbers are non-conference strength of schedule #1 in the country. And they're running the table in the Big West Conference, even though they have 7 overall losses. I think they're one of the best 68 teams by far.
Antoine Young missing the long 2. Rebound. R.J. Mahurin, Indiana State with a chance for the lead here.
Indiana State's done a really good job of taking care of the basketball in the second half. 0 turnovers compared to 8 turnovers in the first half.
R.J. Mahurin for 3. And the rebound, Antoine Young, Creighton.
Sycamores got the shot they wanted. High-low action on the weak side. Swung it back to R.J. He had a good look.
Doug McDermott, long on a three. And the rebound picked up by Jordan Prenti for the Sycamores. With their playmaker, Jake Odom, on the bench for about the last 5 minutes after picking up his 4th foul.
Oh, the jump hook.
There it is. Indiana State goes in front. First lead for the Sycamores since early in the second half when they led at 30-29. Timeout, Creighton.
Well, the Sycamores battling without their star. 4 fouls on the bench, but Carl Richards says, this is my last go-round.
One-point lead, Indiana State over Creighton, 55-54. 3:43 remaining in regulation, and critical game for the Sycamores. They win this game, Indiana State will be the number 3 seed of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. If they lose, they fall all the way down to number 8.
Yeah, and that has severe implications in the ultra-competitive conference tournament in the Valley. Oh, Valley Madness.
Ethan Rocky for 3. No good. Out of bounds, last touch by Doug McDermott. Indiana State basketball as the Sycamores last year were the MVC tournament champions. They're trying to help their seeding, and they lead Creighton by 1. Final 3.5. All right, Steve, Indiana State clinging to a 1-point lead. 3.5 minutes remaining here in Terre Haute, Indiana. And the Sycamore seniors are getting it done on senior night.
Well, when your leading scorer, Dwayne Lathan, is 1 of 8, you got to go somewhere else. And Carl Richard is letting it fly. He's got his confidence going, and this is his sweet move right here. Goes right to his jump hook, right in front of the rim. Carl Richard trying to bring the Sycamores home down the stretch.
Indiana State also getting it done at the defensive end. Creighton, the top shooting team in the country, coming in 51% on the season. And today, they're shooting a season worst 36%.
When you saw that graphic with a win, Indiana State can play late Friday night. With the loss, they have to play early Thursday.
And one, Dwayne Lathan with the basket.
Beautiful set play out of the timeout. They clear the driving lane. Dwayne Lathan puts it on the deck. Turns down the pick and roll. Uses his strength off glass.
Third foul on Grant Gibbs. Lathan free throw, 4-point Sycamore lead. Largest lead for Indiana State.
Wow, if that pass is on the money, McDermott has a three-point shot opportunity. Went a little ride. Got to hit him in the pocket.
Jake Odom back in the game with his 4 fouls, guarding Young. Jahens Manigault gets the 3.
Oh, what a clutch shot by Jahens. Or as Greg McDermott would say, jaw hands.
Coaches never know how to pronounce names, do they?
No, they don't. No, you always listen to the Sports Information Director.
Here's Lathan on the drive. Last touch by Miles Walker, and Indiana State. It goes to the Blue Jays with 2:16 remaining.
Great defensive rotation by Greg Echenike that time. Came over, put up a big wall, put his hand straight up, and made Lathan adjust in midair to try to hit it off the glass. Excellent job by Gregory Echenike.
This has been par for the course lately for the Blue Jays.
Yes, it has.
Tight games.
They're battle tested. This is where their defense needs to step up. They've got one possession under their belt.
On the shot clock. Fade away by Young. Got it!
Boy, this team has some moxie. The Creighton Blue Jays in hostile territory. Antoine Young. Ice water in the veins. Shot clock running down. A good defensive possession, but just a little bit better offense by Antoine Young on the fadeaway. Saying, and switched out on me, big fella, but take that one with you. Boy, what an entertaining ball game, Roxy, we've had. Back and forth, lead changes, different guys stepping up for both teams.
You thought so before this game, that we would go down to the wire between these two teams.
I just had a feeling. I like watching teams get loose at the beginning of the game, and both clubs are really focused and locked in. Wasn't a lot of messing around going on. They know how important this game is.
There's your game reset. On a tie-up, it goes to the Blue Jays. Indiana State is in the bonus, and Creighton will be on the next Indiana State foul. 3 timeouts remaining for Greg McDermott and Creighton, while Greg Lansing at Indiana State has just 1.
Watch for Indiana State to possibly bring Dwayne Lathan up to try to come up on a dribble drive.
Here's Odom, the floater. Got his own miss. Miles Walker can't get it. Last touch by Carl Richard, Creighton basketball.
Wow, Miles Walker cannot take a dribble in that situation. He's got to catch the ball and go straight up. He had a point-blank opportunity. The defense is shifting. Missed opportunity for the Sycamores that time.
1-point lead, and the Blue Jays have the ball, looking for their 25th win of the season.
Well, that young man with the ball right there, he's been in a number of these situations. Taking the ball into the post area with an assortment of floaters.
There's a steal. Dwayne Lathan. Tipped up, no! Gregory Echenique the rebound. 5-second differential between the shot and game clock. And they foul Antoine Young with 32.1 remaining, fourth on Steve McWhorter.
Dwayne Lathan is this is going to bother him for quite a while. Does a great job on the steal. Now watch him, he's trying to avoid the charge. Doesn't get it off the glass. Odom with a great attempt. It's been that kind of afternoon for Dwayne Lathan.
A 1-and-1 for Antoine Young. 74% on the year. 4 of 5 now at the line in this one. 2-point game.
Well, the Blue Jays have been knocked for their lack of toughness, but in this last couple of weeks, I think they would beg to differ.
Hits them both. Creighton takes time and a 3-point game.
Ladies and gentlemen, this time, I'd like you to join me in congratulating the 21st class.
Second straight 20-point game for Antoine Young, and the critical free throws giving the Blue Jays a 3-point lead. 32.1 seconds remaining here. Creighton already locked in as the #2 seed of the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament. Indiana State, if they can get a win, they can move all the way up to #3 for Arch Madness, but a loss would drop them down to 8. So down by 3, 32 seconds to go. What do you do if you're Greg Lansing?
Well, Greg Lansing has had his team has had good success getting to the rim off the bounce. We've seen Odom, we've seen Lathan get to the rim. I don't think you need to settle for a 3. There's far too much time right now. And if you go hard to the rim, you may get a traditional 3-point play opportunity.
That's why this game is so important for Indiana State. They won the Missouri Valley Conference Tournament last year in Greg Lansing's first season. And a nice run at the end of the season, and they're trying to get on another run here to get into the NCAA tournament for a second straight year.
High pick and roll for Odom here. Let's see if he can get into the basket area.
20 seconds. Odom spinning, goes to the basket, lays it in. 16 seconds left, 1-point game, and a foul. 14.2 left. Lathan with his first, and Young will go back to the stripe.
I like the idea there, but I thought Indiana State took a little bit of time. It looked like they were trying to get a flare screen for Carl Richard on the 3. He was covered. So Odom decides to go to the rim. I do think that's the right play.
Indiana State still has 1 timeout. Creighton has 2. And Antoine Young, 5 of 6 at the line in this one. Really playing well at the end of his senior season. Missing the front end. Here come the Sycamores with a chance to win. Odom to Lathan. Step back shot. Ball game. Creighton wins here in Terre Haute.
Great effort on the road by Creighton. It wasn't their style of play in terms of up and down. Defensive struggle, and they got the stops when they needed it.
Gets the effort from Indiana State. Here's a look again at that last shot.
Well, Dwayne Lathan selling for a fall away here. Grant Gibbs doing an excellent job of staying in front of him defensively and forcing him to beat them over the top. Boy, just a great effort by Creighton all the way around.
Once again, our final score, it was Creighton 61, Indiana State 60, the first loss ever for the Sycamores under Greg Lansing, and they allow fewer than 63 points in a game. So the Blue Jays get win number 25, 4 straight. Indiana State falls to 17-13. For Stephen Bardo and our entire ESPN crew here in Indiana, Roxy Bernstein reminding you the final score, Creighton 61. Indiana State 60. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. Back to the studio.